Hello, in this video, I am going to run through my personal Jhoira Weatherlight Captain Cheerios Commander deck, focused on emptying my library as quickly as possible using 0 or X cost artifacts. First, let me go into my win cons. Jace has a static ability that says if you draw a card while your library has no cards on it, you win the game instead. Every time we cast one of our 0 cast artifacts, our commander lets us draw a card, and so our library will get empty very quickly. Laboratory Maniac, same thing. If you would draw a card where a library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Flux Reservoir. While we cast, look at this deck. It's half 0 on X cast. We gain a life for every time we cast one of those spells, pay 50 damage to any target. So it's 1 life for each spell you cast this turn, not 1 life for every single one. So the first one gains you 1, the second one gains you 2, the third one gains you 3. Reckless Fire Reaver, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under our control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Psychosis Crawler is 5 mana, and whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses a life. Every time we cast a 0 cast, we're going to draw a card using our commander. And Thassa's Oracle, same thing. When our library is empty, we can win the game with these cards. Now, every deck wants some kind of amount of redundancy, and these are 3 cards that give us the redundancy. When an artifact enters under our control, we can discard a card to draw a card. Discard whatever you want. Draw a new card. Hopefully it's a 0 cast, and you can just continue the cycle. Same thing with Riddlesmith. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may draw a card if you do discard a card. We just want our library to get empty quickly. We want to discard the non-0 cast artifacts and keep drawing our 0 cast artifacts. The Tormented Prophet, whenever you would draw a card, exile 2 cards your library instead. You may play those cards this turn. Gives us a ton of options in our Cheerios build. Most likely, with half of our cards being zeros, one of those 2 cards will be another 0. So before I get into the zeros, there are some zeros and X's. Our mana rocks are non-zero mana, and these are like the super cheap ones we want to make cheap fast. And these are the cards that generate us the value to keep going. So I'll go over those next. Burgee, whenever we cast a spell, we add red. This makes all of our artifact spells cost 1 less to cast. Helm of Awakening makes all of our spells cost 1 less. Foundry Expector makes all of our artifacts cost 1 less. Cloud Key makes we can choose artifacts and make them cost 1 less. Artifact spells cost 1 less. And the Anvil can make them cost 2 less if we exile a artifact card. So I'm going to keep stacking up here when I'm done. Those are the ones that make our artifacts like a Chromatic Star is 1 mana. We could pay 1, sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color. We're going to have access to a lot of colorless mana in this deck. We need colored mana to win, and so Chromatic Star can do that for us. If it costs 0, you put 1 into it, you can put a red into it and get a blue, and then draw a card. So you keep that cycle going. If the Spellbond costs 0, you can pay 1 to draw a card or return a problematic creature to its owner's hand. Since the Divining Top can control, we're drawing a ton of cards, so we can just keep drawing it and keep controlling what we draw out of the top 3. Affinity for artifacts, and affinity for artifacts. We're going to empty our hand super quickly with all of our 0 casts and be able to play these basically also for 0. If this costs 0 mana, we can just tap it to draw a card, which means we draw a card off of any of our effects that care about us casting the artifact, and then it can just continue cycling that way. Springleaf Drum can tap our commander or any of our other creatures, 0 mana creatures, doesn't matter if they have summoning sickness, to add the color mana we might need to win. Jack-o'-lantern, you can pay 1 to exile it from your graveyard. Same thing, add 1 mana of any color. And you can sacrifice to draw cards, or fits that niche as well. And Skull Clamp, some of our cards that whenever we cast an artifact had 1 toughness, and then some of our 0 drops do as well. So Skull Clamp is good. Next, I'm going to get into these 0 casts. I'm just going to flick through them quickly. Most of them are just, it's a 0, so we play it, but I'll point out any of them that are better than that. So Mishra's Bauble, 0 mana, and you can sacrifice a draw card. So that's good. Stormcoil's Serpent, it's just a 0, no extra benefits. You can stop creatures from attacking with Briber's Purse if that's important. Everflowing Chalice, if it's cheaper, you can put it towards that multi-kicker, I believe, and then it can start adding some mana, which is nice. This is just because it's a 0. Shield Sphere can block some damage, but it's just because it's a 0. This one's really just because it's a 0. Kite Shield, because it's a 0. Claws of Gix, it's because it's a 0. You can gain some life, maybe sack some things if you can get them back from your graveyard. Spellbook's great. We're going to have huge hands, but in theory, we're going to win the turn, but it's a 0. Tormod's Crypt, you can get rid of a problematic graveyard, but it's a 0. Astral Cornucopia, if you can get 3 into that X, you can tap it for mana, especially colored mana, which is nice. Ornithopter is a 0. Or Quarter Shield is a 0. The Hatchery, you're never going to pay 5. Fountain of Youth, The bauble, yeah, you can draw a card at the next of your next upkeep. Next turn's upkeep. This mass, you're really just playing it for a 0. Lotus Petal, this thing has been beat up, but for 0, been sacrificed many a times. For 0, you can get some mana, so this is one of the best 0 casts you can hope for. This can become a creature, so maybe you have it as a blocker if you need it, but it's an X, which is 0. You can just play it for 0. Cathar's Shield, the Walker. Now this one, if you can get a couple mana into it and draw cards when it dies, you could sacrifice it to one of your other effects. Always drawing cards and keeping the cycle going is great. It's a 0. The Cone, it's a 0. The Amulet, it's a 0. The Dark Sphere, you can prevent some damage to yourself, but it's a 0. Now, this says historic spell, which includes legendary. So this is 0 mana legendary that can be a blocker for you is nice. The Orb, it's a 0. The Relic, it's a 0. The Mantle is great. You can tap, if you have creatures, you can get some colored mana off of them to keep the cycle going or play your win cons. That's great. Mox Amber is great. You have plenty of legends, including, and that's part of the reason why we're playing that 1/0 mana red legend, is because I lost him. There he is. He triggers Mox Amber on the first turn, which is lots of value there. The Marauder, 0. Bonesaw, 0. The Walker, 0. Clown Car, 0. The Scepter, 0. Memnite, you can sacrifice to like Skull Clamp, and it can be a blocker. Welding Jar can regenerate artifacts. People destroy them, like if you're playing the life gain artifact to win you the game. Bubble will make you draw a card of the next upkeep, and then 0 mana just as a blocker. So those are all the 0s. I mean, this is literally half my deck is these 0s, so we can just cycle through the deck quickly. We have a couple ones that are good at generating mana. Soul Ring is always great. Fellwar Stone, we just want untapped 2 mana artifacts. Chances are one of your opponents is playing either blue or red. Arcane Signet, Creativity is its signet. Follow that same example. You can play colorless into this and then get colored from it, which is nice. Paradoxical Outcome and Displacer Wave in this deck. These 2 cards allow you to scoop up all of your 0 mana artifacts into your hand, 1 for 4 and 1 for blue. And Paradoxical Outcome will draw you, like, if you return 25 zeros, which is not that crazy to do, returns 25 zeros, draw 25 cards, that's half your deck, and you play them all again, you're just going to win that turn, which is great. And Displacement Wave, again, you pay blue, return all of the zeros. Play blue 1, return all of the zeros and 1s back to your hand, which is awesome. These are just like miscellaneous things that can help us win the game better. Lightning Greaves can just give our commander Shroud, which is important, and the Equipped of 0 is why I like this over the card that gives haste and hexproof Swiftfoot Boots. 0 is so important. You don't have a lot of mana if you're trying to win as quickly as possible. Winter Orb, if you can just really slow down the game with this card's also nice and beat up. Displacer Kitten, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 token non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield on its own to control. Any of your 0 casts that do something, any of your X casts that do something, those cards that are replaying as redundancies to our commander, like this one, care about artifacts entering. So you play a 0-drop, bounce a 0-drop with the Kitten, you draw 2, discard 2. Just gets through your deck faster and guarantees you probably draw into another Cheerio card. 0 mana artifact, Cheerio. Pognify, destroy a creature. You're trying to win really quickly, so paying as little mana as possible is great. Gamble, 1 red sorcery, search library for any card, and you discard a different card. Hopefully you kept the win con, but you do what you do. Mystic Forge can let you access the top card of your library, which is super strong when you're drawing and discarding. You just need to be able to cast your 0-drops. And then Metal Worker, you can reveal cards from your hand. If you scoop up 10 of your Cheerios back into your hand, tap this, you have 20 mana. Just put into some things that can filter it, and you're going to be good to go. Next up are the lands. We want to play as many untapped lands as possible because we want to win in the early turn. Spire of Industry, tap add colorless or tap add 1 mana of any color. If you control an artifact, your deck is half artifacts. Your deck is probably 70% artifacts. Scalding Tarn, fetch land, Exotic Orchard. If one of your opponents playing blue or red, it's great. Training Center, Ender Sun taps, Cascade Bluffs can filter our mana into the colors we need. Command Tower, Arid Mesa can go get it. Fiery Islet can be our colored we need, blue or red. Mountain Island, Glimmer Void, we're always going to control artifacts. Misty Rainforest, City of Brass, Great Furnace is an artifact, so when an artifact enters, it can trigger those effects. Mountain, Steam Vents, Artifact Land, and Shivan Reef. Those are all of the cards in my Jhoira Weatherlight Captain deck. I hope you like this quick 10-minute deck tech on how to build a super strong combo deck. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and may your top decks be ever in your favor. Thank you for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed.